I'm Mike O'Brien, co-founder of Opencast software. It's very different to what I thought it would be. I've found a lot of things in this easier than I thought it would be, because you're doing things the way you want to do them, and you're not having to compromise and do things the way a big corporation wants to do things, or an organisation that you maybe don't sort of see eye to eye with. People. It's about getting the right people. Before I started Opencast, I was told by a number of clients and in a company I worked for before that it wasn't about people, that the whole industry was about process and making everything like a factory and like a production line. And I completely disagree with that, and I think it is about the people. Stupid, as somebody famously once said. And I think we've been really careful about hiring the right people and then cultivating the right culture and give people the freedom to do the things that they want to do, within reason of in terms of a company and having clients and the things that you want to do with the clients. But we found that if you get the right sort of people with the right mindset, then that works really well. My experience, and a lot of the people that work for the company have worked at huge enterprises on huge processing systems, trading systems, transaction processing systems, data analytics systems, and that's my background really. And this works it's really difficult, it's really challenging, so it's intellectually challenging, keeps you interested, and it's important stuff. It helps the government run the tax system, run the NHS. It helps a bank trade, and banks are hugely important to the global economy. You can't run the economy without these companies. So I've always found it really interesting to work with those sorts of people, where you're doing big, important sort of, world life-changing stuff. And then when you're running a business, you want to work with those sorts of clients because, they make your business sustainable. So there's a lot of work. People pay on time, and these things are really important, because without that, your business is going to fail. I'm not surprised at all that we're doing this in Newcastle, not at all. I've worked here my whole life. I studied here. I worked for 10 years in the NHS, and then I worked in investment banking for nearly 20 years. And in that time, I saw people here running huge global programs for massive international companies with no problem whatsoever. And then people from Newcastle working everywhere in the globe, working in Asia, working in the US, working in New York, Singapore, Hong Kong, and seeing how those people can work with these huge corporations has been fascinating. And I've never seen anybody fail, seen people out of their depth. So there's some X factor about the people here, about your kind of gritty determination. You're smart, you're not trying to pull the wool over people's eyes, you're trying to do the right thing. It's really strange because we don't see people doing that. We see people doing things for all sorts of other reasons and having all sorts of other agendas, but you guys are straight up and you just do a great job.